Hey guys, what's up? Shipmaster239 here with another action figure review. So we're going to be taking a look at the PlayArts Kai Titanfall Atlas Titan figure. Very excited to get this. I picked it up on Amazon.com through Japan. This is a figure I've been dying to get my hands on, and it is really awesome. So here is a quick look at the box. This is a huge box. Got a side picture right there. The back has a few pictures of the figure itself in various poses. Pretty much just typical PlayArts Kai packaging. The side has a picture right there of the Atlas itself. Obviously this is held together via Velcro, so you open that bad boy up right there and you get a picture of the figure itself right there. A little bit of a bio on Titanfall and everything right here. If you want to read any of that, you can, just pause it. And then inside right here, the glare will be a little bit less unfortunate. You can see right there is just the display base that it comes with. Typical PlayArts Kai stuff. And now moving on to the figure, which everyone wants to see. So I'll make it a little closer to this guy real quick. And you can see that this figure is amazing looking. So thrilled to finally have this guy. I'm very excited to have this. Been looking forward to getting my hands on this, and it did not disappoint me at all. This is such a tremendous figure. If you're a Titanfall fan, you need to have this. This is awesome. Next figure I'm going to be getting from Titanfall is going to be the 3-0 Titan, which is very awesome. Looking forward to being able to pick one of those up. But until then, this is an excellent figure to have for any collector or Titanfall fan. So as you can see here, he is wielding the chain gun right here, the XO16 chain gun, and he holds it quite nicely. It looks beautiful, very well detailed. He also does come with another weapon, which would be the plasma railgun. Very awesome. Unfortunately, this is made of hollow plastic, but it does feel like it's made of pretty sturdy construction. It doesn't feel too cheap or anything. It does look nice. Detail wise on it is good. You can see down the barrel kind of stuff right there. It has weathering and stuff all over it. It looks really nice. I do like it. This thing itself is quite large, standing almost as tall as the Titan itself. He does also come with an interchangeable hand, which is what he has right there, which is allowing him to pretty much hold his chain gun, or the railgun is a trigger finger, as opposed to the one that comes on the figure, which is just this open kind of neutral hand right here. But it does come with that, and then also it comes with the pilot, which let me actually get on to that real quick. So the pilot is a non-articulated piece of this figure. It does look relatively good. It looks like it could be designed a little bit better. The detail on it is decent, but it looks a little bit cheap. It just doesn't look the best, but for what it is, and it comes with the PlayArts Kai figure, it's okay. Detail wise on it is okay. This is just a militia pilot, and it looks nice. It looks like he's holding, I don't even know what it looks like he's holding a car, I guess I could say, but it does look nice nonetheless. And you have a couple displaying options with him. As you can see, I have him just riding on the back of the Titan, rodeoing him. It does display, have pictures of him as well coming out of the cockpit. Not like that really does make much sense, considering that this is an IMC Titan and there's no point to have a militia coming out of the Titan. But you do have a couple display options. There's a couple small little handles, if you can see right there, and on this side as well, so you can have him kind of grab onto it. But you do have a couple options for it. It is in a permanent pose. There is no articulation to this guy, but it makes up for it considering this Titan has a ton of articulation. So I'll get onto that real quick. His arms are a little bit finicky as far as I can really tell. There are a couple pieces of articulation that I want to say it has, but I feel like I don't want to pressure it, and I feel that it would break if I ended up pushing it too much, because I don't entirely know if it really does have this piece of articulation or not, considering it would seem like it's a kind of a duplicate of some articulation that they already have, but it just wasn't perfectly designed. So I'm not going to go over every single piece of articulation in depth. I'm going to tell you all the articulation, but I'm not going to overly analyze it. So typical PlayArts Kai stuff, it does have the butterfly joint, but the butterfly joint on this one is also kind of a different butterfly joint. It's not the ones where it just hinges out. It also actually, when you hinge it out, it also acts as a swivel. So it's kind of just a different articulation, piece of articulation right there, which is where my case in point was, is on the ratcheting ball hinge right here, as I was figuring it would allow as a swivel for the arm to swivel up, but that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like it's far too fragile to be able to actually just yank this up. I don't want to snap the arm off. You do have to finagle with this guy a little bit in order to get him to actually hold his X016 with both hands, like seen in the beginning of the video, but you can do it. It just kind of takes a little bit of play to do that. He also has a kind of a weird, is a really well hidden swivel joint right here. If you can see how it's moving a little bit, it's a very well hidden extra swivel joint right there, kind of acting as a bicep swivel. He has a single hinge at the elbow, but it actually does work relatively nice. Unfortunately, it's not a ratcheting joint. I don't know why, but it's not. The eyes right here actually do move. This one, unfortunately, is stuck on mine, so I can't demonstrate that, but it is on a ball joint, which is the exact same as if I can do this without knocking off the pilot, that would be great. I don't know how well it's going to pick up, but if you can see right there, I was able to rotate this eye around, and it is a full ball joint. So that is always nice that you can do a little bit of customization with how you want him to look and everything, since there's no head on this guy. Also, the cockpit does open. They're just hinges. Don't really know how well that's going to pick up due to the lighting, but it is sculpted and detailed in there pretty nicely. The only thing I can complain about with the cockpit is it does seem like this piece right here is not perfect on mine, particularly if my camera will focus. But it's supposed to, there's a little bit of a lip right around this piece where it's supposed to sit underneath this, and if you can see, it's kind of leaves a little bit of a gap right there. So unfortunately it doesn't shut all the way, but it is still okay. It looks good. You can't really tell unless you're just looking at really close up and being very nitpicky. Being that I spent a lot of money on this guy, I'm going to really look in depth on him, but that's not something enough where I could really complain about. Other articulation, he does have the ratcheting ball hinges at the wrist. He has actually kind of a ratcheting joint at the torso. It's a ball hinge, but it's really limited due to the sculpt of the figure, but it is ratcheting, which is nice. He also has a ball hinge ratcheting joint at the top of the leg, and then he also does have double ball ratchets right here and here. So he has two for his leg because he has kind of the chicken legs, so you can bend it back and forward, and it's a full ratcheting joint. And then these pieces right here are actually also articulated. They're just on kind of a hinge. Would definitely recommend being cautious with these because they do feel very brittle, so I would definitely recommend being careful. And then underneath those, is a ball ratchet as well. And then finally, his ankles are on ball ratcheting joints as well, with these cool pistons right here and here, which move in and out. They are made of rubber, so if they actually pop out like that one just did, you can just finagle it back in and there's no problem at all. See if I can get this guy to stand again real quick for the review. But he does have quite a bit of articulation, so you're going to be able to get him into some really cool poses with no problem at all. See if I can actually get him to stand real quick. It does take a little bit of finagling to get him to stand properly, just because he is very top heavy, but once you get him in a position where he's standing, there's no problem whatsoever. He will stand quite nicely. I have found out, at least personally, I don't see any problems with him standing. See if I can get him to hold his chain gun real quick. Like I said, it does take a little bit of finagling, but once you get him into a position where he can hold it, there's really no problem whatsoever. As you can see, he holds it quite nicely, so I can get him. There we go. But this figure overall just looks so cool. Getting up into the finer details of it, it looks beautiful. Really nice weathering and battle damage all throughout, down to his feet, which look really weathered and torn and everything, as a Titan generally should. Getting onto the back, A lot of pieces on this guy is also made of a softer rubber, so pieces like this back part right here and these pieces down here, which if you have the Titanfall Collector's Edition statue, are all made of a harder plastic and do feel like they could break, and they actually can break relatively easily. On this guy are made of a rubber, so it's definitely nothing to worry about at all with breaking. There's a lot of the pieces that PlayArts Kai saw as fragile, and they replaced it with plastic instead using rubber. So definitely no problems with breaking right there. Very awesome how they designed it. It's a perfectly designed figure in my opinion. Really, really nice. And overall, if you're a Titanfall fan, I have to recommend this. Granted, you have to be a very, I would say, large Titanfall fan in order to actually get this. Because like I said, he ain't cheap. I ended up paying $200 to get him. That is actually what he does retail for, is $199. So you are going to have to fork up a lot more money in order to pick this guy up. But overall, like I said, if you're a very large Titanfall fan, I'd recommend it. It is a really cool figure. Looks awesome. He holds his weapon really nice. He comes with a cool little pilot figure right there. And he is really cool. Standard PlayArts Kai height. He's around 11-inch height. So he is a really, really nice hulking figure. He doesn't feel cheap. He feels like you're getting a quality piece. So definitely, I would recommend picking this guy up. He is just absolutely incredible. Very happy to have him in my collection. And like I said, let me show you a little bit more of the detailing and stuff on him. But I mean, that's overall pretty much it for this guy. Not too much else to talk about. He is absolutely worth the money if you're a fan of Titanfall, and I definitely am, so I had to snag this guy. So that pretty much does it for the review of the PlayArts Kai Titanfall Atlas Titan figure. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below, but this guy is definitely worth a pickup.